Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Rashmita, and I am the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. This session will run over the next 60 minutes, including Q&A. But before we begin today's session, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat section will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. So please feel free to drop all your questions in the chat section. I would now like to welcome Swami, our speaker for today's session. He is an aspirant software architect and currently works at Applied Information Sciences. He loves to learn about new technologies, but for now, I will hand over to Swami to begin the session. Let me bring him into the stream. There you go.
Yeah,
Over to
Smita,
you,
good
Swami.
evening.
Good
How
evening,
are you?
Swami. Good evening. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all excited for another session.
Awesome. Your screen is up.
Thank you. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining. And this is my GitHub. Rashmita will share all these links. This is my main link. And as you have seen, the events, whatever I conduct, well, I'll mark it as Speaker Series 2024. I just created 2025. We have around 20 events coming in 2025, full of AI in 2025. That's the sneak peek. And today's markup is here. And the code I'm populating here in this at different locations, so that all the CS will be here. C# one. I'm going to add the Python. We'll see how we are improvising on this one, but I just wanted to give you a quick information on this, where you can find all this. Okay. So without further delay, we will spend 2 more minutes time on the official syllabus. You can see this. We are discussing Azure AI Engineer Associate official syllabus, which we got updated on 31st. What is the changes? As far as we know that, as far as I know, there was somewhere around 5 hours plus, and whatever we discussed, the one of the item was removed from this section. It was on similar to the content safety or responsible AI. That particular unit has been removed from this. And here, if you see that, what is that we have completed in the series, and I'll just switch back here for a minute. If you see, there is a link here which goes to this playlist, and even Rashmita can share that. In this, we already have 16 events, and this is the 17th one, and 18. And then I think year 2025, again, there will be around 15 plus events. So what is that we covered is, I'm calling this as a chapter, lack of better word. So this learning path, chapter 1, chapter 2, and I jumped the line directly to chapter 6. That was my mistake. I totally take the responsibility of jumping the line. Okay, because that's one point. And the second point is, here in this chapter 6, we completed everything except the RAG, Retrieval-Augmented Generation. And the foundation for that is in chapter 5. So some of the terms, maybe the indexes or indexes or Azure search, or some of the things which we created, will not discuss, because I'm going to come back from chapter 3 onwards. That is scheduled next. So you can see that is scheduled on 17th December. And again, 2025 calendar is already up, filled with the events, but I'm going to come back to this one. So in today's session, even though some of the terms which are coming, maybe the vectorization or the semantic search or whatever it is, we'll discuss that. Okay, Azure search, indexes, something we'll discuss. We'll not go deep into that. We will come back and backfill it, because this chapter is like creating the RAG one. Okay, in under sixth chapter, we completed all these units, getting started and building natural language solution and prompt engineering. And prompt engineering, we did advanced prompt engineering also, and code generation we did, and also the image generation we did it. And today's focus is on implementation of retrieval augmented generation with Azure OpenAI. Okay, that is the thing. So let me spend a couple of minutes real quick. So that's the session for today, and I have to show some slide. That is, I am a learner, so lifelong learner. Apologize if I do any mistake. If someone asks a query and if I don't know, I will be very open to say that I don't know. I will go back, I will learn, and I can come back and speak about that. I did quite a few times. I did it. Someone asked a question, I don't know. I go back to learn myself, and next thing is in the next session. First thing I'll speak about that. That was a question in previous session. This is where I'm answering it. So that is what me. If I don't know, I will go and learn. So I'll not feel shy to say no, I don't know. I will say that I don't know. So what is that we are going to do is that we'll speak about the retrieval without RAG, and some of we'll discuss about what RAG is and benefits or use cases and workflow. We'll speak about that, and provisioning resources, upload the data, deploy AI models, create the creation of index. As I was mentioning here, some of these things, like we said, that creating of index, what this index, why, how it helps, what is vectorization, what is semantic search. We'll come back when we're discussing the fifth chapter, because we discussed 1, 2, and this is the final unit in the sixth chapter. Again, we'll go back 3, 4, and 5. We'll discuss. In the fifth chapter is purely on AI search. So we'll backfill it. As far as today's session concerned, we'll speak about the terms. We said, okay, Azure search, create an index. We'll stop it there. Okay. If anyone has got any query, please feel free. I'll definitely try to answer now. My friend GPT is there with me. He will help us. But if not, I'll come back in the next. So again, we'll see that how to get the data using AI Studio with RAG, with Postman, as well as in the C#. So we have quite a few things to cover. So please fasten your seatbelt, and we'll start with this. And here is a playlist where I'm mentioning, and this is the MS Learn module. So please use this. And now we'll see that how to do or how to retrieve the data without RAG. We'll see that. Okay. So I'll come back to this particular code over here. And let me go to this. This is the RAG demo, which we have it for today. And what I'll do is I'll just comment this piece of code and come back. We'll discuss about this code organization that I'll come back, but I just wanted to show that how does the retrieval happens as of now. We'll see in C#, and again, we'll go back and see that from the Azure AI Studio. Now, the Azure AI Studio is pretty excellent, and they're providing lots and lots of features, and I myself learning every week. Tell me about India. Okay, I'm just asking, tell me about India. It goes and it retrieves the information from Azure OpenAI search. Now in OpenAI, what is happening is here we got this information. Okay, let's keep this information as is, and let's come back to Azure AI Studio, the chart playground. And at this point of time, here we don't have our information added. We are not doing with RAG. We are not grounding the data. Okay, let me increase the max content. And same thing I'll ask, tell me about India. Now, when I click on this, tell me about India, you see this almost, not almost, definitely it should be Maki to Maki. It's the same information. You see that geography and population and history. You can see this plus or minus, it's giving the same information. So here it started with population, then capital, culture, language, government, and cuisines. Yeah, it is covering here cuisines, economy, society. A lot of these things are coming plus or minus. We are hitting the same endpoint. Okay, we should get the same information. Okay, so let's see how that's the one. So if I come back here and I comment it, and again I go and ask the, I mean, technically I should have asked, tell me about India, but this is without RAG. Whatever is happening here is without RAG. I can ask is tell me about India, but instead it's about New York. So net what is happening is the user is giving some prompt, and that prompt is being sent. So here we'll see the code real quick. Now, if you see the code from the code perspective, we know the system message, and the user is asking, and it is going to the OpenAI model, which is extracting the information and giving it. So three parties. System is we are configuring or giving the role to the model, saying that, hey, now you are a Kung Fu master. Tell me something about Kung Fu. Or you're a cardiologist, or you're a mechanic, or you're a software architect. And then we are asking our prompt, and model is giving us a response. So that's the workflow. So this is about the retrieval of content. Now we have to speak about this, why the RAG is coming into picture, and what all other enhancements. So if you see that now latest what's happening is, if I ask what is the time in India, let's see this. What is the current time in India? So I'm asking the current time in India. So what is it's a, but it's not giving me the current time what it is, but it's saying that, hey, the IST is GMT plus 5.5. So at least it is saying that, okay, GMT plus 5.5. Some places I saw it's searching the web where the model is not trained on that particular topic, but it has been trained to do a function call kind of thing where it doesn't have the information. It says that, okay, let me go and search the web, and it searches the web. I don't know which areas it is searching, but it searches the web and it says that, hey, here is your information. So that's one thing I've seen in a video. I myself didn't try, but when I was learning from a video, I saw that it clearly told that searching the web. I think even in latest GPT, Chat GPT, it does, if I'm not wrong. So that's the new thing which is coming. Now let's spend few minutes on RAG. So we saw that without RAG, how it is happening. It is going and trying to get the information from the model which was trained. And here itself, we are seeing two different responses. What do I mean two different responses? We saw that geography, population, capital, and culture. This is when we tried with the C#, and when we tried in the AI model, definitely it is the same model. I'm having the credentials of the same instance. So we are not hitting two different things. We are hitting the same model. But you can see that geography, history, culture, a little bit here, because we know that the temperature is on the little higher side, 0.7. So the randomness or the creativity will definitely come into the picture. So that we know that it generates a new information. And other thing which we have seen, something which it doesn't know, it clearly says that I don't know. Sometimes in few models which we have seen, that it goes and tries to get the information from web. So those are the three things. Now let's speak about RAG. What is RAG? Where we can use it, and what all the use cases. We'll see the workflow. Very simple. So RAG is an advanced AI framework. So technically what is happening is retrieval based methods with generative models. That means in the previous sample, we saw the grounding text. Let me show that also. Here in this module, I remember we saw that. So with that, I think we will be very close to these things. So here, use your own data in the C sharp. Oh, sorry, not this one. Not use your own data. I think in the prompt engineering. Yes, in this one only. The grounding text. We saw that Contoso Wildfire Rescue Organization. This was talking about the red panda. And we saw this when we told that what is that it is talking about. And we saw that it is talking about the red panda. And it was giving the answer saying that red panda. So we were grounding the grounding text and sending it. And the system message we told that use while input. We also give the grounding text. So what happens is the model uses this grounding text when it is unable to find what is that we are asking. So it uses this grounding text. So now let's come back and see this. I'll close this so that I can deal with less number of windows. So here, see this retrieval. So retrieval, we know that retrieval system query the external knowledge base. So that means document store, database, search engine, all these things like tools like cognitive search, vector database, embeddings, these things. Augmentation is like the we are giving some external data so that it gives us the correct information. Like if sometimes what is happening is whatever the time which we asked, it said it don't know. But if we try to ask it something else, what is dim algorithm? Just I'm trying to. There is no algorithm called dim. I just wrote something. Now what is happening is it is doing its best judgment and coming and saying that hey, okay, dim algorithm is so and so. I don't know what it is. Maybe it really exists. I don't know, but it is giving some information about this one. Okay, so now if at all these kind of things are coming, it's not giving the correct information. I don't know whether dim software company or something exists or not, I don't know, but it is okay. Adayar Anand Bhavan A to B. Let's use this one. A to B foods. I'll go. So I'm asking what is this A to B Adayar Anand Bhavan, but okay, at least it is telling something. But algorithmic or trading in the context, or it's trying to do its level best, but it is not the correct information. I don't know. A to B is Adayar Anand Bhavan, but this algorithm, food algorithm, I don't know whether it exists or not, but it is giving us a wrong information. So it's not wrong information. It is doing its level best to bring and give some information, which is not factually correct. So to fix this, what we can do is we can give the additional context saying that if the user is asking some question you don't know or you're not sure about it, please use our information. So that's what we are doing. So it's our own data store plus the model combining, it's giving the correct information. So benefits of that is accuracy, contextual awareness, scalability, cost efficiency. But from the benefits perspective, we can see those top two items. Accuracy, because when assume that our own A to B food algo is our own algorithm. So we give set of PDFs or markdown files to it, and it can go and get the data from our own data source. Contextual awareness, okay, whenever we say that A to B food algo. Oh, okay, we are talking about our own data source. It goes and gets the content from there. And how is the workflow goes about it? The workflow is first user asks a query, and information retrieval is we go hit our own data store, bring all the information which are relevant, combine these two, give it to the prompt. That's augmented prompt. So retrieved documents are appended to the query. So we have user asks a query. Now we need to retrieve the information, and we'll combine the retrieved information from our own data source, including append it to the user prompt and send it to the model, and model generates a response. So that's the workflow. If you see that the commented lines, let me come back here. Let me quickly show this. Here, if you see, user is asking a prompt, line 131. And here we are giving the information of our Azure AI search. And then if you see, while asking the prompt, we are sending the information user prompt. Also, we are giving the retrieved information from the search, Azure search. So we are combining. So if you see this line number 152 and line number 160, and you can read these three bulleted points, two bulleted points. Technically, it is two, 1, 2, 3. User asks a query, the prompt, okay, that is, it's in this 152 input prompt, and retrieved information. So that's happening here till 139. And augmented prompt is combining the retrieved content with the user prompt. That is happening in line 147 to 160. Technically, it is 160. Okay, 152 and 160. Combining these two, sending it as part of the chart options. So that's what it is happening. Now we have to speak about the use cases. What all the use cases where we can use it? So assume that the customer service or the enterprise knowledge management and research assistant at many different places. So if you see, assume that we have a chat bot similar to ChatGPT. We have a chat bot, and we are working for an e-commerce company, and people can come and say that what happened to my order or what happened to my refund, and we can ask that, okay, I'm purchasing this product, is there a refund policy, how many days I can refund within, what is the cutoff, or those kind of queries. So these kind of queries, assume that the e-commerce shop, they have created this chatbot similar to ChatGPT, and they hosted it. Now the customers can directly come and talk. Now what this e-commerce company can do, they can generate a lot of PDFs or the kind of data source and hook it up to the augmented retrieval. So what happens is whenever user asks any of the query, it goes and tries to retrieve it from the existing data source. In the PDF, it will be there, isn't it? The rules and other things. We'll see that in a moment. So be it anywhere, let's assume that within our company, software company itself, we have a lot of information. Lot of information. So a new member is joining. So you should know that how to raise a pull request or how to raise a request for Azure resource or for the license of IntelliJ or Docker license, whatever is it. So it will always, it is all documented somewhere in the Confluence or Wiki. So that information, if you put it in the store, backend store, and have a ChatGPT kind of UI, and the new joinee, whoever is coming in, he doesn't need to wait for a senior resource or for other resource to come so that he will ask this question, hey, how to do this. All he can post it is post this query to the ChatGPT, which goes and hits the internal data source. I mean, the wiki, Confluence, or wherever the content is. From there, we can put it, and then it gives the information. Now let's come and look at it. I think this is quite a long I discussed. um, I never do this, but I don't know, for some reason I just was setting up. So this we have seen, and one difference between the fine tuning and RAG is fine tuning is, again, we need to have the existing model and get more data and train the model to create the custom model. So what does that mean is, if you go to this deployments and try to deploy fine-tuned model. See this, deploy, there's a base model. So fine-tuning is on the base model, you get extra data and fine-tune that model, and it's a customized version of the base model. So we don't, that's the different one. Here we are not customizing it. What we are doing is, we are using the base model, but we are giving the external data source as a grounding. Okay, we don't need additional data set to train it, but we are giving the grounding or the additional information to this one. So now let's see this. Add your data source. We'll stop here. We'll come back. So let me come in here, and we'll see that how are we creating all these things, and then we'll come back to the third unit. Okay, we just saw this first one. This we will come back in a minute. Okay, so now here we will see couple of things. We need Azure AI search, we need storage account, and also we need the embeddings. So we need to have Azure OpenAI resource, we need to have AI search, and we need to have storage account. So let's go and quickly see, do we have all those? So we see, so Azure AI resource we are using since long. So that's this one, AI, and this is the search, and this is a storage account. So let me pull this out so that it will be easy for us to flip between both. And we have this one, upload the data. So upload data is, let me come back to this one and go here. And in this, there is the 6th unit. And in the 6th unit, if we go inside that, there is a data. And inside that, you'll see your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 PDF files are there. So these PDF files will be uploaded to the Azure blob storage. So where is this blob storage? Let's go and see that in a minute. So we are coming in here. Let's click on this blob storage. And in the meanwhile, I'll open this one also. So this is blob storage. Let me go to the Storage Explorer. And in the containers, so you can see this access level is private. It's not anonymous blob or public. The access level is private, into which we have uploaded all these PDF files, the resources, provisioning the resources. So we need to have Azure OpenAI, AI search for indexing and retrieving the data, and the storage account. We'll upload all these things. We have uploaded to this one. One quick thing is, when we are uploading, we need to ensure that the container is private. So that's one thing. And then deploying AI models. So that is, we have already done that. One is this is for embedding creation, and this is the model which we did it 3 weeks ago. So those two things are there. So let's see this one. Deploying AI models. One is this embedding model, and one is this one. Now, let me come back and we will see that how do we create the search, Azure AI search. So let's come back over here, and this is the Azure AI search. Let's try to create it. We will delete it anyway. After a couple of minutes, we will delete it. So it's not a problem. Let's create this. Let's go to the market search, Azure AI, this one, Azure AI search, this one. I am going to click on create. So it is coming here. So I'm using the name 002. Okay, that is available. So here, the AI search. It's just a basic, unique name and basic, nothing new there. So we have to keep it the same. I'm creating it in US East, and the pricing tier is, let's keep it to basic. That's 6,000 rupees per month. So let me change the basic tier, and anything else, nothing, I think. Here, one thing what we need to understand is if we try to create two replicas, you see the price is getting changed from 6,000 to 12,000. Again, I'm bringing it back to 1. Now it went back to this one. And partitions, if you see, if I increase the partition, and again, search units, again, it's bumping up. So we want to keep the cost minimum, as this is a demo. We'll keep it, and access is public. Let's go and create this one. The storage one was simple, so I didn't show the storage. Search is little different. Again, we'll come back to the 5th chapter. We'll be discussing little deep, but as of today, as I was mentioning, we'll just learn these terms. Okay, AI search, embedding, vectorization, indexes. We'll come back and we'll fix our fundamentals, but bear with me. I'm sorry, it was my mistake. I jumped the queue. So here is where we find that the search. Okay, this is Azure AI search. Now coming back to this one, it's creating the index. Now inside this, we need to learn something new here. The primary admin key, we'll get it from the identity keys here, and the endpoint URL is this one. The endpoint URL is this one. So that's thing. And how do we create the indexing? Okay, so you can see that we will be using the text embedding model. Okay, there's a spelling mistake here. We'll be using the text embedding model, which we have deployed in the previous, I deployed it a week ago or 3 days ago during the indexing process to vectorize the text data. Okay, which results in each text token in index being represented in numeric vectors. We'll come back and we'll fix this vectorization and indexes in future. But as of today, understand that we'll use the embedding model, which helps in representing the text in numeric vectors. Okay, just the textbook definition we'll learn as of today. Now let's go back here, and here you see this overview, import and vectorize the data. So we'll click on that. After clicking that, we'll come to this set up the data connection. So here, connect your data, because the world itself is changing every minute. So there'll be a lot of changes. See this connect to your data. Here you see this set up your data connection. It's little different. Set up your data connection. Different things are changing, left, right, and center things are changing, but let's understand this one. So now we know that Azure Blob Storage, it's not this, it is this one. So other things is we have Fabric, Table, SQL, Cosmos, and Gen 2. We select this one. So everything it will show us this storage account for AI, and the container is this travels, and then the container is travel. Blob, leave it blank, the folder, because we kept it at the root level. Enable deletion, tracking, unselect, and authentication using managed identity. These two will be unselected. We'll click on next, and in the vectorize your text, in that, okay, it's taking a couple minutes. Let's wait there, and we'll see these options. So AI search, and we'll give the OpenAI service, and we'll select the text embedding, and authentication will be API key. So here we came back. The first option is kind is Azure OpenAI, and we have the subscription. OpenAI service, it picked it up, and the model we need to give the embedding. We see this, even though we deployed two models, we have 4O and embedding, but here for the search it needs embedding so that it creates the vectorization of the text. So we have that, and API key, the authentication is API key, and acknowledge. You need to select this, and I'll click on next. And on the next page, do not select anything. Do not select anything. And in the advanced or the next page, it says that enable semantic. On the next page, enable semantic ranking and schedule the indexer once. So this is enabled, semantic ranking, and then schedule is on once. As I was mentioning many times, we'll come back and we'll fix these fundamentals, but for today, let's move on. We'll click on that, and the next thing is the name, object name prefix. So I already have created, so I call it as V2, because see this, I will create it as V2. I don't want any confusion or last moment troubles. So I just click on create. So it is going to create. So these are the terms. I'll come back to this one. Azure AI search. So come back to this one. So here, if you come and see the concepts, so you see this one, the vector store, search, and indexes. So there are a lot of other terms which are coming in, like skill set. We saw that for a fraction of a second it was talking about the skill set also. So a lot of things are coming in from here, vector search or full text or these kind of things. So I just don't want to derail our session sticking to this one. We'll come back and fix it. So I'm just leaving those terms as it is. Like, okay, after doing that, I'm just, we can click on start searching. At this point of time, it is still doing the, it's working on that index. You see this, it shows the 0 bytes. So let's come back to this one. And we see like it shows the indexes, and see this, there are 6 documents, and all 6 documents were completed. Without knowing what it is, we'll just come and we'll see some information. And again, I'll come back to this one and check the indexes. So now see this, the vector index size. So looks like it has indexed all. Here when we came, it was 0 and 0. Now it is this one. Now if I say New York, and I go, so it goes and brings in a lot of those contents, this the travels and the New York City information. Like if you see, go and try India. So whether it is bringing in the content of about India, I think it's not, because we don't have the context of India, but it is giving some vectors information. I think that will not help us, but just understand that we were able to do this. So this is very important from the indexing perspective. Okay, we'll keep it as it is. So we'll see what all the things which we did it. We have uploaded data. We have the models, text embedding. Where is that used? It used in creating this AI search. It uses that embedding model to vectorize the text, enable semantic ranking. We'll come back and we'll fix that. Now we'll use the RAG. So what is that we are going to do is we'll come back over here and go to this chart completion. And inside this chart completion, we'll say that, let me clear this. Again, I'll ask the same question. Tell me about London. So it's going to give this history. That's very good. Now let me open this in the file explorer, and let's see inside this data we have london.browser. So if you see that, it's simple one page document, and it speaks about this some of this information, but it speaks about a couple of hotels here. But when we see without this grounding text, when we are asking, so this is getting it from its trained data source. It's not getting it from our search index. So what we will do is we'll come back here and add data source. And in the data source, we have Azure AI Search, we have blob storage. We can go back to the source where we have it. And Cosmos, we have Elasticsearch, URL, and upload files. Except AI search, I didn't try any of these. So I'll stick to the game plan. And this search service, let's use this latest one which we created. Wow, why is that it's not showing that? So, yeah, it's showing. So just now we created, and it should get that. It's index v2. Now if I switch to the first one where I created just the index name, I didn't create with v2. V2 I created for the search 002. Let's go with this one because we just created with this. And add vector search to the search resource, and will not use this. One second. I think I remember I selected it. Why is that? It's not? Okay. So let me switch back to that. And now something is wrong. Definitely something is wrong because it's not giving the because it should enable that. It should enable this. Then only it will show that. Okay, let me close it and again click on add data source, and it will be AI search. And I will use this, and I select, yeah, this should be enabled. And then the embedding model is the text embedding model which we deployed. And then see, custom mapping I'm not using because it gives us a lot of other options when we go there. So I'm leaving as it is and then clicking on next. And the search type is I'm saying the vector or keyword or hybrid semantics, and select the existing semantic search configuration because that's the configuration I'm using it. Clicking on next, and I'm using the API key because that's what we did it somewhere when we are creating the search. So this is where the mapping, we can do the mapping. So I didn't select it. So I click on save and close. I closed it. Now you can see this under this one. There was nothing previously. Now it shows. And I will ask the same question. What is that we asked? Tell me about London. Now we ask the same question, whatever we asked it before grounding or using the one second here. If you see that, the citation will see that. So it's using, see this, it is using the London brochure.pdf. That means it's going and using our data source. So RAG. So we have our data source and we have user prompt. We are combining and giving it to the model. So the model uses these our data source and the prompt, and it gives us the information. It generates it. So now if you see here in the view code at the bottom, let me change it to C#. Now you see it created the Azure AI client. And yes, here you can see that the search data source, that's a search endpoint, the index name, and the authentication is default key. So here we are giving the data sources, we are giving the external data source, and here we are giving the user prompt. So we are combining both augmented data, and then the retrieval happens here. So that's what is this one. And citation also, it shows from which PDF it is bringing in. Now if we will ask second one, tell me about New York. Let's see that. What? Okay, yeah, it was little, so I thought that it is giving very less content. So references expanded and come to the citation, and it is going and bringing in from this one. So tell me about Dubai. So let's wait and then let's ask, tell me about India, because when we asked tell me about India, it gave all this information. This was not from the RAG, it was from the trained data set. So now here again you can see, go to the citation, we can see that it's using Dubai brochure. Now let's ask this question, tell me about India. Now when I say that tell me about India, the requested information was not found in the retrieve data. So that means we'll come back over here and we asked tell me about India, and this one we can see this is the chart prompt. It has got the history, and here we saw that we have the data source, and it is using a lot of this thing. Oh, I forgot to change the language. I'm sorry for that. That's what I'm saying. It's little different. Here we see this, the search index and all those things, but it's not able to this one. Citation why it's not showing the citation? It should show the citation. It's not showing the citation. Now we understood at least at a high level, we understood that what is happening. So let's ask the same three questions to this guy. Now here in the data source, I uncommented that. Now here we'll say that I want to go to New York. Where should I stay? So if at all it has got that information, it goes and retrieves. It is giving. Now let's ask the same question. Tell me about India. Now let's see that. So you see this. Right, you see that? It's giving the same information. Now in the citations, see the citation, it tried the London brochure. Okay, now tell me about London. Now you see that the citation, where are the citations? Yeah. So London brochure, and other citation is the travel company's info itself. And we'll ask the same thing. Tell me about Dubai or New York. See this. See the prompt tokens and the total tokens. So when you're doing this, be a little careful. From the tokens perspective, you'll be charged very heavily. That was given in the documentation also. Be a little careful when you're doing. So if you see that Dubai is the largest, most populous city, and did it give the same when we asked about Dubai? Yeah, see this. South Coast, Persian Gulf, serves as the capital of Emirates of Dubai. It's giving the same information. Okay, so let's see one final thing. How do we do in C#? So this is the same. We have the AI client, and one thing is I am using the beta version. I will upgrade it to the full version of this one. But as of today, let's stick to this game plan. And here we are giving the Azure AI search. We are given the search endpoint and the search key. So given these here, search index, search key, search endpoint, and inside the configuration, you can see that there is a strongly typed class. If you add anything to the app settings, please ensure that you're adding it here also. So 3 days ago, I did this. So I added it. The other one was a couple of weeks ago. So those were there, and I've added this. And let's come back to the code. So we have the strongly typed configuration at the top, which gets the AI search configuration. So that gets hooked up to this app config, and app config is the strongly typed configuration class. So we create the OpenAI client, and user is asking the prompt, and this is our data source, the search index, and that augmented retrieval, the user prompt plus the retrieved data. We are combining this both and sending the chart completions to the OpenAI client OpenAI client get chart completions async. Okay, so where we are sending it, and it is retrieving the content and will print it. and we are using the citations also. So let's put a breakpoint over here, and let's first ask, tell me about India. Then we'll use sometimes. Okay. So tell me about India. So we saw that content, the requested information was not found. Let's do a quick watch. The function call. That is okay. So Azure extension context. This is the search. Okay. So citations, it is 0, right? Because we were searching. So let us click on that and see citations will be 0. So now I'll come back and let's use the London, the first one. Tell me about London. So let's use this again. We'll do a this one, quick view, right mouse click and quick watch, and let's see the extensions. Here you see this citations, and that means it went to this travels company info. I think that should also have something called London in this. Let's see that. Yes. So that also has this London. So that's what in the citation it shows 2 files as a source from which it got this information about the London. So this is the augmented our own data source, and this is the content which it retrieved. And role also we have seen that is the assistant role, and okay, it's nothing to do with this tool call. It's all the first one where we have given the extension context. So that's where it is retrieving. So we now if I click on this, come back and see that. So it went through those 2 PDFs and it found the information about London, and it compiled, and it is given this crisp information over this. Now with this you would have understood, like if you have a lot of brochures, assume that ours is a real estate company, so there will be a lot of brochures. If we upload all these brochures to a blob storage and create a search index and create a chatbot kind of thing and give it to the user, so they themselves can go at any time, because if you have to visit a office of the real estate agent, we should ensure that those guys are sitting at the desk, and assume that after business hours they might be available, they might not, but if at all they uploaded a lot of these their brochures into the Azure storage and use the search index, and then users are using this chatbot GPT kind of for that real estate and ask those queries like how many types of houses are there, or do we get loan, or whatever the information based on the brochures it comes. So these are real use cases where we will be able to use this concept to do a RAG information. Like you have your own data source, on top of that you're using base model. You're not fine tuning it, you're using a base model, but you're grounding it to your own data source so that it gives and extracts. It's doing a wonderful job because it goes, reads those PDF. The first part is done by the embeddings, and then the second part, I mean, the embedding we have created, uploaded the data, and search index, search, Azure AI Search is using these PDFs and the embeddings to create the wanted indexes and things which are needed for the search, and we are using the RAG pattern. So that's it from my side. Back to you, Rashmita.
Thank you so much, Swami, for hosting this session, and thank you all for joining us today. Please visit Microsoft Reactor website for more upcoming sessions. Also, we would appreciate your feedback on today's session as it will help us to curate future sessions. So please scan the QR code and do share your feedback. Today's event ID is 24270. Also, please feel free to use the Learn module link. This will give you access to additional resources to take your learning further. Thank you all once again and enjoy the rest of your day.